gonna get into how you went from being a sex worker and OnlyFans content creator to a conservative.
See, she says both there. She says a sex worker and an OnlyFans content creator. Yes, of course, like generally speaking, right? She obviously is creating content, but she's a sex worker. She was a sex worker. She's not anymore. We have to be really specific about the language that we use. Very specific.
Catholic mom. So I kind of want to start with who you were before all of that, how you got into sex work, into OnlyFans, what your life looked like before.
Sure. So I moved to New York in my early 20s. I came from the South, so I moved to Brooklyn. I very quickly found a community in the kind of liberal woke scene. I, at the time, identified as a lesbian, so I found a really great community within the LGBT community. I was indulging in alcohol and drugs, so I found kind of a party scene. I quickly found friends and community and was kind of just living a bit of, I would call, a degenerate life, kind of just partying, trying to make money, working in restaurants. So, kind of just trying to find my way, my footing in this new city. So, my early 20s were just a lot of that, moving from job to job, trying to make money, trying to pay my rent, and find kind of my new, I would call, identity.
Hmm. I think it's what a lot of people that especially come to a city like New York in their 20s feel.
Yeah,
They're lost. It's hard to make money. They can't find their footing. And they kind of grasp onto these identities and groups.
right.
But not everyone, you know, gets into sex work.
True.
I wonder, how that first started. Was it you needed money or was it like what were you looking for?
Sure. So I think it definitely started with a sort of desperation for money. Um,
I mean, all young people have this experience. It's a very normal experience. And I think we have to normalize that experience, saying, like, you're going to go through a period in your 18, 19, 20s, early 20s where you just like are trying to figure it out. You don't know which direction you're going. You don't have a lot of money. You're not sure what your purpose is in life yet. Maybe you don't feel like you found your people or your person. And like, that's normal. You have to go through different experiences and seasons and things of that to find kind of your footing. And I think now we're giving people kind of this easy way out, especially women, like, okay, well, you can just make easy cash because you can just sell your body online and go to OnlyFans. Yes, I understand there's desperation. I understand you need money and all these types of things. I get that. I get that can be a sole motivator. But just like myself, when I was extremely young in my 20s, we don't have sort of a longer term vision of the future. We don't understand what could potentially be the repercussions and the consequences to our actions because we're trying to live in the moment now and we don't really know what our life is going to look like later on. And I think that's interesting too to think about for young people and potentially why they make these kinds of decisions. I mean, I was partying and doing drugs and all these types of things when I was young as well, but I also had a career. I was a professional wrestler, and so I knew what I wanted to do. That was just kind of part of what we did as wrestlers. But also as a young person, even in college, you're still finding yourself and figuring things out. And then when you leave college, if you do go to college, if it's for you, it's all just a kind of a work in progress. And then, quote unquote, when you become a, I don't know, mature adult, you're still just fucking winging it. Nobody has it figured out. Everyone is flying by the seat of their pants. And hopefully, as life moves forward, we just are able to make some of the right choices. Yeah. So, anyways, let's continue.
and just a feeling of being lost, not really knowing who I was. I think a big part of the kind of liberal leftist group I was in was very much touting the idea of feminism, of sexual liberation, of it's very empowering to be a sex worker. This was kind of the messaging. And something that was very popular was the sort of sugar daddy, sugar baby websites. So for me, this was presented as something just normal, just something that people do. I had friends that had participated in it. And so I was in a position of I was laid off from a job. I felt very desperate to not move back to where I had come from. I wanted to stay in the city. And it truly at the time just felt like a normal and easy thing to do. Just something like, okay, this is an asset I have. I'm like a conventionally attractive young woman. This is something people do. Let me just see what happens. Let me just sign up for the site and see what happens. That's kind of how it
So you
started.
log on to whatever it is, Sugar Baby.
That's kind of the sole issue right there, that it's become so normalized that we don't even think like, oh, I'm about to sell my body on the internet for the world to see, and this is never going to leave me ever. And it's normal. It's empowering. It's liberating. Like, that's the fucking problem. It's not. It's none of those things.